Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to our final training for IGD 2025. We've got a lot to cover today. So I'm going to set the agenda, before we start, and hopefully we can get through all of this. Otherwise, we will have some sessions coming up later on, and those will be more of group check-ins sessions. So if anything is missed during today's training, you all can also join those and get further clarifications. I'm going to start sharing my screen now. So today we are going to talk a bit about how to set up matching gifts, and we'll also discuss other things like overview of prizes and matching gifts for IGD 2025, as well as look at donation pages. And the final part will be questions and group discussions, plus some of the things that we might not have covered in previous sessions. And I want to make sure that we talk about that today also. So how I've broken this up is I will start with setting up matching gifts and challenge gifts and looking at the donation pages. Hopefully that can be covered in 20 minutes. After that, Peg will take you through overview of prizes and matching gifts for IGD 2025, and that should take another 20 minutes. And the remaining time will be used for questions and group discussions. Setting up your fundraiser with matches. So according to Bonterra, organizations that used matches last year for giving days raised an average of 4.5 times more than those who did not. So matches is a really, really good way of creating energy and interest among your donors. Peer-to-peer fundraising is another way of doing that. So if you have any donors or board members who are willing to pledge a match for India Giving Day, then do get that and use that to increase the energy amongst your donors and get more commitments on during early Giving Day and India Giving Day. So I'm gonna just take you through the website and show you how to do this. One sec. Are you all able to see clearly? So you can set up matching funds from your back end, go onto your profile page from the administrator side, and when you scroll down, go down to donation tools, click on manage matches and challenges. You can add a match here. Click on add match. Give it a name, IGD, IPA match. A description. Let's say the matching fund availability from your major donor is $10,000. You can do a 1:1 match for that is that every $10 is matched by $10 from the matching fund. The donation name, we can perhaps add, let's say, rural India Since we already have that information, the URL. Then you'll have to, you can display the sponsor name publicly if you click on this. Setting the start time, let's say March 1st, end time, March 14th. And maximum you could set up is 100. So as you might already be knowing that the minimum donation the platform accepts is $5. And at the end, we'll just save this, enter a number. And you get this information here, IGD IPM match sponsored by Rural India Supporting Trust, the total amount remaining, per donation cap, and it auto matches the start time and the end time. One of the things I want to mention over here is that you want to make sure that if your entire amount is not being used, for example, if your match is for $10,000 and towards the end of the campaign you find that only 5,000 has been used by your donations, then you want to deplete the match before the leaderboard is frozen, and so that your balance of your match is added to the leaderboard. And I'll be talking about later on the timing around when the leaderboard is frozen, but you want to make sure that you deplete the match by the remainder amount so that all of that match, that is the $10,000, for example, shows up on your leaderboard.
And if it's an individual Meenakshi that is offering up the matching gift, then there's no URL to be provided, right?
That's right.
Okay.
There won't be a URL. Has anyone done an individual match before?
Yes, we've done quite a few.
Okay.
Where it's
And
an individual person giving a match. They're giving a donation and saying, yes, it's okay to use that as a match. So yes, we've done several.
so do you end up putting your website information or anything else? You just leave it
No.
blank? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great to have that clarification.
Meenakshi related, there was a question if it's necessary to insert the matcher's website link.
I'm guessing that you don't have to, because if you don't have to insert it for an individual, even in the case of an organization,
I think, yeah, it's optional because,
Yeah,
and also
it's
sometimes somebody might be willing to give a match but want to be anonymous. And then of course you wouldn't have a website link. And you can do an anonymous match as well. That's an option.
Okay, going back to, so that's matches, how to set up matches for your organization. Are there any further questions on this before we move on to the next slide?
So can you have multiple, I'm assuming you can have multiple
Yeah.
individuals who offer up matches. And can you sort of amend that? Is it frozen at a certain point in time where you can keep adding them and amending that list as and when?
Yeah, you can keep on doing that. You can keep on adding matches. When I was talking about freezing, that refers more to the leaderboard. The leaderboard gets frozen on the day after India Giving Day around noon time. The exact time is not determined. And the reason why we ask you to deplete the match is because you want that entire match because that's a donation that has been made by a major donor to your organization. So you want that donation to show up entirely against your organization's amount raised, which is the reason that you want to deplete it so that it shows up on the leaderboard.
So when you say
And-
deplete, Meenakshi, I'm assuming that the person who's offering up that match has already funded that towards the organization, and Bonterra is literally just taking, right? Each time somebody donates, a donor comes in and donates $10, Bonterra then draws from that fund and
But
puts
it only
into-
shows up in your total as it gets used. So that's
Got
why
it.
you want to deplete it, or else it won't show in your total. The money will still be received, but
Got
it
it.
won't show in your total. And I
Ah.
just wanted to mention also, if you've got more than one active match at the same time and someone makes a donation, they'll get multiple matches to their donation. So if you have more than one and you're emailing people and saying, hey, we've got 2 matches right now, you can triple your money, not just double. That works too.
Oh, that's amazing. So when we say deplete, how does one go about doing that? I guess then is my next question.
So hold on, I don't have something to show you here exactly. Oh yes,
It literally
let's
says
see if
deplete
there-
match under the match when you're in the manage match.
Okay.
Like
So
it literally says, see right there, deplete match.
you go here and you can just deplete it over here. And in fact, you can edit the match. For example, if you want to change the amount, just make sure that every time you're making a change, you save it.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's saved.
I'm so sorry. I just jumped in at the end. This is, late. This is if you have a match that you're adding in, not the match from the trust, correct?
That's right, Deb. And this is only for organizations who are, who want to add their matches from their donors. We have the risk matches, the IGD matches. That's separate, and that Peg will take you through after I finish this first part of the,
Gotcha. I apologize for
presentation.
being late. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so you,
And then I have a couple things if I could, Meenakshi.
yeah, go ahead.
Two, in the what you were just sharing, Meenakshi, it'll say match name and match description. Whatever you put there shows up on the website. So you want it to be language that is geared towards the donor or towards the potential donor, like double your impact with this match from so and so. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a marketing opportunity. And then also for Preeti, the match is a visual only. Most likely, in fact, I think 100% of the time, the donor sent you the match. Bonterra doesn't have the money. So this is just a visual telling the individual donors coming to your site, oh, look, your gift was matched. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah, because you wouldn't actually want a very large matching donation to go through Bonterra because the fees would be huge. So it's preferable to have them give it offline, but then it's there as a match and it counts. But the fees would add up to quite a bit of money if it's a very large matching donation.
Oh, okay. So I guess, sorry, I have a lot of offshoot questions. Maybe I should.
No,
So
feel
the
free,
one last
Preeti, we have a
logis-
couple of minutes, so go ahead.
Is that okay? Okay, just
Yeah.
one question with regards to the logistics of it, right? So when a donor clicks on donate, and we've provided our bank details and all of that, right, at the back end. So does it hit the account directly? Because I somehow assume that Bonterra is sort of pooling all the money that donors are donating through the IGD or Aarti profile page. I mean, sort of I represent Aarti, right? So each time a donor clicks on donate on the link that we provide, right, that money
So,
is
Preeti, actually, sorry to interrupt you, but that's something we are going to be covering in the
Okay,
next couple
sorry.
of slides.
Okay.
So why don't we move along, and
Okay,
then,
let's do that.
you know, any unanswered questions, we can
Understood.
take a look at those later.
Thank you.
So the next one I want to talk about, quickly go through donations, security, and other, you know, just so you know how the platform. So basically, Bonterra has partnered with Stripe, which is considered a PC level 1 payment processor for gift processing. So what that essentially means is that Stripe processes something like 6 million transactions every year. So it has to conform to the highest levels of security and safety for credit card information. So your donors and you yourself as administrators for your organization can be very confident that any transaction going through the Bonterra platform is very secure. Bonterra does not retain credit card information. The transaction is directly processed and information goes directly to Stripe. Coming to your, I mentioned already, credit card information is not revealed or saved in GiveGap. Coming to your question, Preeti, how much time does it take for the money to hit your bank account? So from the time that the transaction happens, it takes about 5 to 7 days. So you will see the money coming into your bank account every 5 to 7 days. If it starts coming, you know, if you start getting donations from the time that early giving is happening. The last part of this is that all participating organizations must be verified as IRS and state recognized nonprofits. We'll touch on this a little bit more in detail after the next few slides, but I just want to mention that I think most of you are verified, and if anyone is not verified as yet, the bank account information, then it's recommended that you do it as soon as possible, because you can't start accepting donations till you're verified. Bonterra does, had asked you for information on your EIN at the start, and that information is used to verify your status in IRS as well. Donation processing. So all major credit cards are accepted. Donors can log for, if the donation is more than $100, donation can log into the bank and make the donation via ACH payment. As I mentioned, everything is securely processed through Stripe, and GiveGap does not retain any credit card data. If your donor is having any issues while making the donation, the chat bubble that you see at your end, they also see that chat bubble, and they can access, support right within the donation form. The donations are very transparent. Bonterra charges a 3.5% platform fee. There's a 0.30 cent fee per transaction, and a 2.5% transaction fee that Stripe charges. So basically, for every credit card transaction, your donor is paying about 6% per transaction plus $0.30 per transaction. In terms of ACH, I mentioned that there's a $100 minimum. Donation has to be made if they want to make a transfer via ACH. And in that case, there's a 3.5% platform fee, $3 flat bank fee, plus there'll be and there's a mistake here. So this should be actually, plus, so the total fees that they're paying is 3.5% plus a $3 fee per transaction in case of a ACH transfer. Moving on.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yeah, Jairaj, go ahead.
Yeah, is it possible for people to contribute directly to the to the website as opposed to going through this Bonterra?
In that, Peg, go ahead. I see you've got a, go ahead.
There's a really wide range you can collect gifts. The only one that is not allowed is for it to come through your website and then put it to the India Giving Day. So and I'm not sure who you represent, Jairesh, but if, for example, it's A-Tree, you can't have donations coming into the A-Tree website and then count it towards, add your totals offline to India Giving Day.
But you can receive a
take it in the
check or a
mail.
wire transfer, right? And
Right,
then
yeah.
put
That's
that in.
right. So you can receive, Jairaj, you can receive an offline donation, which is coming to you via a check, etc. But you cannot receive donations on your platform, on your organization's website and have them considered for India Giving Day. When you are in case of large donations, for example, someone is giving you $5,000, you don't want to pay the credit card fees, they can give you a check and you can enter that donation. There's a way to enter it as an offline donation through your page. And, that's many organizations have done that in the past for offline donations. But if it comes on your website, then you can't enter it as an offline donation in that case, because it is an online donation, but made on your website. The other thing that I want, Peg, is there any connection with the matching gifts that you want to mention over here in terms of how those are considered for both offline and online donations?
Matching gifts you would put on as an offline donation.
Well,
So
entering
that
the
it
match makes it automatically. You don't have to do it twice. If you enter it
Okay,
as a
right,
match,
good.
it gets used, and then when you deplete it, that's in there. You don't want to then also enter it as an offline,
Right,
because then you'll kind of be counting it twice.
right.
So
Thanks for that clarification, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. So this is part of the transparency of donations. There's on the website, there's a way that donors can cover the fees. For example, if you're making a donation of $50 and the fee comes to about $3 something, donors have the option to cover that fees. Historically, Bonterra has found that about 65 to 75% of donors do tend to cover fees, and they have the option, as I mentioned, to do that. GiveGab's Giving Day gift basket makes it easy for donors to support as many causes as they like. The data on this shows that usually donors tend to give to about 2.5 organizations when they come to make a donation. So there's they can either, when they're on the donation form, they have a way of adding another organization. For example, if a donor comes and makes a donation to ATRI, they can add another organization and decide, okay, I'll make a donation to Drishti as well. Or they can go back and look at the organizations that are up on the IGD page and explore, scroll through it, and add from there itself. So there are two ways of adding additional donations, either through the gift basket that I mentioned or add another organization.
There's a maximum of 10 gifts at a time. There are a few IPA members that have given to every single organization and they need to process their credit card 3 times, but that's better than processing it 35 times.
In terms of how GiveGap supports us, there's a help center and the information is here. You can either visit the help center or go to the blog. There's also a way of getting information on any of your questions through an email. The fastest way is actually the chatbot, which shows on the right-hand side of your page. And if you have a question or a query, we recommend that just go to the chatbot. If you feel that your query, you've not received a satisfactory response, then email us. But the first line, I think, of getting your query addressed is through the chatbot. So I'm going to pause here for a moment and see if anyone has any questions before I go on to the reconciliation and seeing the financial and donation reporting.
Meenakshi,
There's
there
a
was
question.
Okay.
Sorry. There's
Sorry,
a
Peg
question
has
in
to
the
answer.
chat about offline donations. Can they be recorded and matched?
They can be matched. I think Peg just
So when
answered
you,
that.
because I was trying to remember, so when you put in an offline donation, that triggers any active matches that are there?
That's
Okay.
right. But then you have to be fairly quick and keep on entering them, because that is happening in real time, right? The online donations are getting matched as well.
So
for
online and offline donations are getting matched. Yeah. Was there something that puzzled you, Chris? You looked.
Right. I just couldn't remember if when you enter an offline donation, if that will go to your personal active matches and trigger a match payment.
Oh, for an individual organization? I would
That
think
was, I
so.
thought, what the question was. The personal matches that we were just talking about setting up for your organization, I couldn't remember if when you enter an offline donation, if that goes back and triggers a match payment. I couldn't remember that.
I believe it does, and here's why. I have considered at times matching just online gifts, and if I were to do that for the risk $25,000 match, then it would be true, it'd be all or nothing for participating organizations. So since we are including offline matches, I believe you have no choice. But I figure that's what you all want, because, so. And
Okay.
when you're entering a matching gift, it says, do you want to match? For me, when I entered the risk thing, it said, do you want offline gifts to match? Yes. I believe that's a full sweeping, this is how we're doing it.
And we're also going to touch upon this as soon as I finish my part. So if you have any remaining questions, Peg can take those at that point. Okay, moving on quickly. So GiveGap dashboard helps you to understand your balances, etc., reconcile whatever donations, etc., you might be getting. I'll just take you through the website also, so you can see where all of that lies. It also, the Giving Day analytics, provide you with information on donor counts, new donors, offline, online donations, average donation size, the fees that have been covered, as well as year-on-year comparisons. For example, dollars raised, donor counts, and this is really, really helpful, and also, is very useful when you're looking at analyzing at what is coming into your organization's donations. I'm just going to show you where you can see this on the website. So I've opened the India Giving Day page from the administrator's view. You see the icon here, analytics. And on the left-hand side, you see reports. So if you click reports, you will see donations and financials here. The same thing if you click on analytics. So there are multiple ways of getting to that information. Then you find the analytics for India Giving Day, the donor insights, year over year, the general, and same thing. Left-hand side, if you click donations, you get information on the donations that have been made last year or during the current campaign as well. And there's a lot of donor data that you can access over here, the donation ID, name of the donor, amount, fees charged, etc. So it's very, very comprehensive, and I believe you can download all of this information, your donation information, and upload it onto your database as well.
Hi, this is Bob. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Bob, go ahead.
You can go back to the previous slide, the dashboard. I was just looking at the dashboard that showed the donations and the costs and all that.
Or you want to take a look at the fees slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
The platform fees and everything else, just for our education.
Yeah, one sec. And this is also in the FAQ, so which, in my initial email, I'd recommended that everyone, hold on one sec.
Yeah, that it'll be nice to see in the picture. There's a $10 donation that gives us the
Hold
exact
on.
percentages, and it's nice.
Is this what you wanted to see?
Oh no, okay, that's all right. I was looking at the previous chart that you were showing.
Oh, that was the analytics from our web page, and that would be separate for each organization.
No,
So,
okay. It's all right. I'll go to the back. Thank you.
okay, all right. And if you have any questions, Bob, you can always email me afterwards.
Sure.
So moving on, I want to quickly touch about getting verified on GiveGap. You want to make sure that it is already done because it helps to set you up for getting donations. In case your status is incomplete, this is what it will show. You will need to add your bank information about a main representative from your organization, and you'll have to confirm state fundraising compliance. State fundraising compliance, Bonterra recommends, usually if you're raising funds in multiple states, you should be compliant in most states. But for the purpose of this campaign, if you are registered in the state where you are based, for example, that could be California, or it could be Texas. If you're compliant in that particular state, that should be good enough for IGD campaign. And so just make sure you click there, attest, add your bank information and rep information, and you get verified to collect donations. It takes about 7 days time. That's why we ask you to do it as soon as possible. So, you are set up way before early giving starts. Okay. Let me quickly share donation tools with you as well. Sorry for rushing it, but I'm sure that you are super interested what Peg has to share. And that's really important information. So I want to make sure we give her enough time. So when you're on this page, this is the back end of your page. And if you scroll down, you will see donation tools. We spoke about manage matches and challenges, manage donations. Again, it gives you information about the donations that are happening. Then going back, there's a share your page here, which gives you a link. And if you, this link is great for sharing in your email communication, etc., because it takes donors directly to your page. If you want to create a Facebook post with the link, then, click here, and this takes you to your Facebook page and gives you the, you can immediately create a post there as well. next steps, what do we recommend that you may want to do as next steps? Start following India Giving Day on social media so that you're getting our updates as well. Use our hashtags, India Giving Day, Act for Impact. Keep a watch on your inbox for any important emails that is going out to IGD groups. Meet internally with your team to discuss the progress of your campaign, what needs to be done, next steps internally, and sign up for any group check-ins. We might have about 2 check-ins going up till India Giving Day, so make sure you sign up for those and explore the resources that we have online. I want to share with you some important dates. So early giving starts on March 1st, 2025. India Giving Day is on March 14th, as you know. The leaderboard will be frozen by the afternoon on March 15th. So you want to make sure that all your, all your matches, if you have any internal matches, all of those are depleted by March 15th morning. The reason for doing this, and Peg can, explain this further, is that we want to make sure that all the prizes, etc., are also allocated by that time, and the leaderboard needs to show those prizes as well. The donations will remain open till midnight on Pacific time on March 18th. The reason for this is, a lot of times some donor who you've engaged with might have forgotten to make that donation, or is traveling, or is the, internet is down, you don't know. So there's a way that they can still make the donation. What they have to do is go to the website, search for your organization in the search bar, your organization's page comes up, and donations will be accepted till midnight Pacific time on March 18th.
Actually, Meenakshi, I think we stopped donations on the 17th.
We are stopping on the 17th.
Which is a Monday. We want to leave it open
Okay.
through the weekend and then close it down.
Okay, all right. So March 17th, midnight Pacific time. Peg, the time remains the same?
I would just say, I would not fuss about the details. I would say we leave it open over the weekend.
Okay.
And we freeze the leaderboard, as Meenakshi has referred to. The reason we're doing 12, I'm targeting 12 noon. I need to confirm that's what we have with Bonterra, and I'm targeting Central Time, which is where I live. And the only reason we're waiting that long is so that I can enter prizes. And they go towards your totals. And a lot of the prizes will be able to enter before then, but some I can't calculate until the end of India Giving Day, most donors, most funds received, etc. And we want time to be able to enter that and then freeze the leaderboard, because if people are go, 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 they're trying to get all the gifts in by midnight and then it keeps moving. That's upsetting for people. So we're doing the tightest window we can to let all the gifts come in for India Giving Day and then freeze the leaderboard. So the people we announce as having gotten the most donors, raised the most money, they stay solid and consistent. That's what's behind that.
And Peg, you want to start talking about your matching gifts and prizes as well now?
Okay, good. First, I'll just touch on matching gifts. Not most of you, a lot of you are new to India Giving Day. The matching gifts, we've got a $25,000 match from RIST, Rural India Supporting Trust. They are our lead sponsor. They fund the bulk of what happens for India Giving Day. And they also offer $25,000, and the matches are capped at $100. So the first $100 of any gift will be matched. Last year, we started that match at 6 p.m. the day before, kind of wanting to get the excitement started leading up to India Giving Day. The downside was the match was depleted by midnight. So actually there was no match on India Giving Day. It had already been spent. So this year we're activating the match 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time, and figuring if it goes as quickly as it did last year, which was about 6 hours, then it will be there for much India Giving Day for everybody. We also have set aside $10,000 in matching funds for peer-to-peer fundraising. As you know, peer-to-peer fundraising is hugely important to getting new donors and engaging new people in your work. And so we've set aside $10,000. It also tends to lean towards young people. We want everybody. We want board members and everybody doing peer-to-peer fundraisers. But it's a really great way to engage youth. So there is some trying to support them. And also early giving. One of the reasons we offer early giving is Bonterra recommended it for peer-to-peer fundraisers. It takes them a little while to build momentum and reach out to their groups and host little events. So that's a lot of what the 2 weeks of early giving is about. And the $10,000 match will be there starting with early giving. Another thing about that, it is a manual process. I cannot automate a match for peer-to-peer fundraisers. We can't single it out and say only match these funds. With that, it'll only be posted to your accounts once daily. We will in the morning, we'll calculate how much money came in for what organization through peer-to-peer fundraising, and it'll show up as a lump sum rather than $10 match, $15 match, $50 match. But it'll be there, and you can, and we please encourage you to let your peer-to-peer fundraisers know that there's $10,000 set aside just for them. So with that, I will share. Are there any questions about those two matches before I go to prizes?
So do we have to, I guess by definition, all fundraisers that are advocating on your behalf are peer-to-peer fundraisers, right?
Yes,
Peg, yeah. So they
Yes.
all qualify, if you will.
they do all qualify.
They do all qualify. Okay, thank
So,
you.
so clarify that for me, please, if you may. So if a group of people are affiliated with one particular group, is that peer-to-peer fundraising? Well, that's
Can you ask that again, Bob?
how do you define peer-to-peer fundraising? How do you aggregate the group, right?
Okay, so let me
Do I
share.
register a group?
Let me share my screen and show you what it looks like.
Mhm.
And then I have one question about that particular match too, once you've done this.
Okay, it might take me a while to figure out how to
Should I
share
just
this,
ask?
so go ahead, yeah,
Okay,
please.
so there's two kinds of peer-to-peer prizes this year. One kind is a prize, right? With it's like by the end, whoever had the most peer-to-peer, who had raised the most. You're saying this match is just going to be a one-for-one match of any funds raised through peer-to-peer until it's depleted? This 10,000? Because the others are not going to be determined till the end. They're a competition. But you're saying this is going to be added every day and it's going to match funds raised in peer-to-peer. And is that capped as a certain up to? So what's the cap on that?
$100.
So for every 100 in peer-to-peer that you raise that day, as long as there's money left, we will get a match of 100 for each of those.
Yeah. I
wow,
wonder if
that's new.
Too high.
Okay.
Oh, it is new.
Yeah.
And I wonder,
that
as
means
you
that's
asked
a
the question.
double match. Oh, sorry. That's like a double match then, because they're also going to get matched by wrist and this peer-to-peer.
No.
Well,
It
wrist
is
will only
staggered.
be on India Giving Day. This
Yeah.
starts early giving, and I'm sure it's gone by India Giving Day.
Oh, yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, that question about where do we cap it? I'm processing that right now. I hadn't thought of that, to be honest. And since ideally it would last for a fair amount of early giving, I should do a little math and figure out whether to cap it at $50 or $100. We don't want it gone in 6 hours.
100, it might be gone really fast.
Yeah, so let me look at that. That is a great question. And then we'll get back to you about that. Okay, good. So Meenakshi, I know you set up a couple of peer-to-peer fundraisers. Are they showing up on the website? Either that or I just look at last year's. I'll look at last year's. Or Meenakshi, can you pull up 2024? And then we'll look at one of the organizations that did peer-to-peer and show. So if somebody sets up, Bob, a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign on the India Giving Day website, that is what will be matched. If you have somebody who is fundraising and they're not doing it on the India Giving Day website, then that will not be matched. This is for inspiring those who are setting up through this traditional way. Okay,
So
great.
we do
There you
have,
go, the fundraisers.
yeah.
Not very successful, but that's what they would look like.
And the last training was all about that. And I think the recording will be available. So there was it was a whole lot of information shared about how to invite people and how people can set one up. So that's probably a good recording to watch if anyone is uncertain about how those work.
And I will be sending out an email by tomorrow with all the recording recording links, so that you'll have it there in the email itself. But just to let you know again, if you just have to click on the menu, click on training, and all the recordings here are on the training page, easily accessible. And in addition, you also have the major and mega gifts trainings that Alex has recorded. So really useful to take a look at those as well.
Okay, then I will share. Any other questions about the matches? Okay, I'm going to share the prizes page. And I did send out a document that had narrative description of these prizes, but I just thought, Meenakshi and I were talking the other day and thought probably it'd be helpful for people who are new to this to have an opportunity for question and answer. So golden tickets are lotteries, and it's like 4 times a day during early giving. This is automated in the back end of the Bonterra app. We'll say who made a gift between 8 a.m. and noon. And then it'll pop up, this person made a gift to RT for Girls. And then we match it. It's not a match, it's better. It's $250 flat fee. So if somebody makes a $50 gift and it gets a golden ticket, it's a $300 gift. So no matter what the dollar amount is, $250 is added to it. We'll do it 4 times a day during early giving, so there's 2 motivators in terms of prizes and matches for early giving. And that is these golden tickets and the peer-to-peer match. Then when India Giving Day hits, we will start again 6 p.m. the night before. And that is Eastern time. We'll go till midnight Pacific time, which is a total of 33 hours. This is just my budgeting over here in the right column. But there'll be an hourly golden ticket also for $250. Peer-to-peer fundraising, we have a lot of incentives here. This first one, most peer-to-peer fundraisers, is oriented to the organization. So it's oriented to RT for Girls or for A-Tree or for Dharamsala Animal Rescue. And And that motivates you to get as many peer-to-peer fundraisers as you can. Now, the peer-to-peer fundraisers, we want to motivate them to get as many gifts as they can, to raise as much funding as they can. And so these prizes are centered on them. There's a first, second, and third prize. Now, the most funds raised is new, and you'll see that shows up a couple of times. In the first 2 years of India Giving Day, we really wanted to focus on just bring in donors, just engage people in India Giving Day. And then people were like, this is a little bit lopsided. We really do want to raise money in addition to bringing in donors. So we've added a couple of prizes targeted at funds raised. Okay. Most donors, as in years past, most funds raised is new. And for social media, last year, some of you will remember Biggest Splash, who posted twice weekly for the weeks leading up to the campaign. And then also advertising support. Only about 40% of participating organizations participated or engaged with that. And so we had leftover money, which is not good when you have a grant, as you know. So there are fewer social media posts this year, and we're hoping they're well received. Also, the deadline for submitting these is March 1st, again, so that we can award the prizes. We can determine the prizes, award the prizes, and they'll be included in your totals. Also, some of these, if they're really good, we're going to put them up on the IPA or on the India Giving Day social channels. So best countdown posts, we did that last year. Those that are identified as, and it'll be, even though you won't post them until probably the week of March 7th, you need to submit them to us by March 1st. And then we'll say, you won this prize. Here's an additional $250 to go towards advertising. Please put money behind that. And what we've learned, IPA is only about 5 years old. And while you're building a base, if you just post on social media, Meta will show it to 10 people. But if you put money behind it, they show it to quite a few people. So it's worth spending money on your social posts. And this is just a small encouragement to do that. Best impact ads. This is to inspire groups to say, this is what your generosity makes possible. And ideally, we'd love it if you had staff on the ground in India telling stories, sharing, if you were a participant last year, sharing what India Giving Day made possible. We really want people to see this is the impact of your generosity, whether it's last year's support or what we're going to do with this year's money. So top 10 will each win $500. And I'm going to hop to best partner for impact ads. That's features of if you're collaborating with another nonprofit on the ground in India, or if you have a government collaboration, or if you're working with a socially responsible business and partnering with them to start this initiative. So that's another category. And then the best real ads was originally best TikTok ads. But since, and part of our motivation is TikTok has been banned in India forever, so our ad agency can't create TikTok ads because they can't see it, they can't post it. And it's also a way to engage youth. We do this essay competition opposite India Giving Day. And, the kids always say, you should advertise on TikTok. That's where I spend my time. And we couldn't create for that. So the best real ads is 30-second posts, short videos. It can be anybody, but we encourage you to engage your youth groups. And I think it'd be great if you can have them say, this is what I'm going to do for India Giving Day. for India Giving Day, I have a peer-to-peer fundraiser because I love this organization and I am, whatever. Or last summer, I visited India and I visited this group and I just was so moved by what they do here. So video does really well with social media, and we would love any live video you can send from your youth, from the ground in India, your programs, wherever you create it, or from somebody's, a board member's office. Doesn't matter. They'll all be considered equally. Okay, and then IGD merchandise. I'm running a little behind on this. If anybody has a group they like working with for embroidering or printing shirts, we're going to create some India Giving Day merch. And some of it'll be for the Youth Leadership Council that are going to be hosting events and volunteering with groups for them to wear. Some of it will be for giveaways at events you have. It's a small test, but that is the plan. We're going to have some merchandise. Yes, Bob. You're muted, Bob, if you're talking.
Yeah. Back to the question on the TikTok ads, right?
Yeah.
With India being blacked out on their side,
Right.
is the US under blackout, or it's supposed to be under blackout, right?
TikTok is very dicey in the US right now too, so that's why we changed it to real ads. I probably shouldn't have even talked about that, but
how about
basically,
Snapchat? Is Snapchat
it's that's. See, I've never been on Snapchat. It could be very similar, but just the short video posts that are so popular with a lot of people, especially youth.
Yeah, the thing, the second part of that question was, so young people communicate to young people better, right? Old folks
Right,
like me.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we have to motivate the young ones to communicate to them.
Yes.
That's a strategy that we'll have to gather
Yes.
a bunch of them.
Yes, good. That's exactly what we want. And all of these social media are due March 1st. There's a link in the document we sent out earlier. But with that, with the youth, if it's just a video like this, a selfie video, we're going to frame it with IGD branding, with India Giving Day branding. So we need time for the ad agency to be able to do that. But you're right, youth communicate with youth, and we definitely want to be engaging youth. Okay, and then Ushri, I think, had her hand up next.
Hi, Peg. Yeah, I want some more, I want to know more about the IGD merchandise, because last year we used India themed bracelet for our fundraising activities. And is it going to be considered, because or it's something where the name of the IGD needs to be printed, as you said, that T-shirt or maybe some other material. So is there any details about that?
The 1,500 in merchandise is money I'm going to spend. So it's not a submission. It's money I'm going to spend to get T-shirts or giveaway items, and it will be India Giving Day focused.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, Chris.
So this year, for most donors and most funds raised, there's just one first, second, third, where you have all the different size organizations competing against each other.
We do. And the reason for that is it hasn't mattered. The top organizations are often small organizations.
In terms of most donors, because you guys have never done most funds before, right?
But we have categorized by size, and small organizations have done really well financially, as well as with donors.
Okay, but then it still does cut down on the number of, so only one organization can get first and one can get second. So instead of having three organizations.
Exactly, that's true.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions? All right, Meenakshi, anything else you wanted me to touch on? You're muted.
So not on prizes, but we are almost, it's noon. So before we go, I just want to mention a couple of things. Firstly, there's a meeting on tomorrow at 10, and the meeting is for nonprofits that are interested in collaborating with each other on doing joint events in celebration of IGD. I want to also mention that, for example, if 3-4 organizations or even 2-3 organizations get together to do a joint event, then the event grants opportunity available to them is more than $500. So it's really worth your while to sort of try and think of doing these joint events together. So we have those opportunities available. Attend the meeting tomorrow so you can make connections and figure out which cities you might want to collaborate in. In addition to that, I just want to quickly mention this has come up in one of the previous meetings, and I had said that I would confirm with Bonterra and get back to you. And this is regarding the Stripe audit, which I think Atri had last time. So, one good thing to know is that Stripe audit usually does not happen in March. It usually happens in May. So if any one of your organizations get selected for a Stripe audit, that is going to be a very, very unusual occurrence, and we're not expecting that. Also, a Stripe audit is outside of Bonterra's control. It's not something that they can manage. However, they can assist you if your organization is selected for an audit. And in that case, what you should do is immediately text the chat bubble and let them know that you've been selected for a Stripe audit and ask for the assistance. Do not change anything. And that's, just remember, do not delete anything, do not change anything. Just immediately text to the chat bubble that you've been selected and what should you do next. Wait for them to respond to you, because Bonterra can help in the unusual occurrence of a Stripe audit for your organization. So that I just wanted to mention that as well.
So was last year just a strange one-off? Because last year wasn't May. Last year was February to
it
March.
was just a one-off thing, and that's what I meant, that usually these audits happen in May, but on a off chance, one-off basis, you might find your organization being audited. If that unusual occurrence happens, then do not do anything. Immediately text the chat bubble that this has happened and what should you do next. Wait for them to get back to you, because they can, whatever little assistance they can give you, they will, or at least they will guide you what to do next.
And if memory serves, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, it will, on the back end of your web page, it'll say you need to be verified or something like this again, and like tell you to push the button, but don't do it. Go to the chat.
Well, also the bad thing is that when anyone goes to you, it says this organization is unable to receive donations. So it makes it like what happens with the front facing makes it seem like you're just not part of this anymore. And so that was what was really bad. And I think it lasted a couple days. So yeah, it was very unsettling because it brings up this message saying, unable to receive donations. It didn't say come back again, soon, or and then I don't remember about the verify part about clicking something. I know we didn't I don't think there was anything we had to do. We reached out and we asked questions, but then we just had to wait. We had to wait for us to come in queue to be looked at by Stripe and then cleared.
Do not believe that you clicked a button that said click here to verify your information.
I don't remember that part of it. I just remember reaching out, and I remember, Bonterra said, this is Stripe, we have to wait. They did check in with them. Maybe they pushed it along a little faster. Maybe it would have taken even longer. So I don't remember clicking I don't remember being asked to do anything. I just remember it was like, hey, we're taking a look and you just have to wait for Stripe. But I did not like that message that came up during
Yeah.
that process.
No.
Well,
No,
we
it's
are not
bad.
expecting that to happen. As I mentioned, it usually happens during May, and hopefully it doesn't happen to any organization. But as I mentioned, on the off chance that it does happen, don't click or delete anything. Immediately reach out to Bonterra, send us a separate email so that we all on top of it.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow for the joint events collaboration meeting. All right, bye then.
Thank you, Manal.
Thanks, everybody.